What's up, everybody? Back again on the S10. Got a boatload of parts. You can tell what that is. Intercoolers. And got the old icebox over here. The ball valve. So you know what's going on. We are going to be installing some turbos and some intercooler piping system stuff. So got a lot of work to do. Gotta reinstall the hot side and everything. I already put my little T splitter on. Had to make sure that fit. Just missing one 4-inch T-bolt clamp. But other than that, ready to pretty much do the whole install. Got a lot of stuff to do. No time to waste. Let's get right to it. First thing I'm going to start with here probably is the Icebox Fittings. I'll have the 2 returns come in the top, one exit or the feed come out of one of these bottom ones, and then the drain I'll have probably in like this one. That's what I got this ball valve for. All right, next up, got our air to water intercoolers. Yes, that's right, intercoolers. We're gonna do two intercoolers for maximum coldness on the air. All right, put the fittings in the intercoolers. We got two 90-degree elbows that'll come and point like that, so the hoses can just go right to them. Simple and easy. So next up is going to be tying down this tank here. I cut out this area underneath the gas cap. That way I can have my drain for the water tank come right out the gas cap, or I can just dump it down straight down there. I thought that would be kind of funny though if you open the gas tank. And this is where I'll be tying it down. Use these 4 tabs. I had to drill them out to 1/4 inch. I'm gonna use 1/4 inch bolts on that. And they had some super small hole size, so I drilled them out. I was gonna have it like this to have all these barbs facing, you know, where they need to be, but that leaves me no room to mount the water pump itself up here. So if I flip it sideways like this, mount it somewhere like that, that allows me to loop the feed over here and then mount the water pump. And if I scoot it back just far enough, that gives me room to someday maybe mount 2 water pumps if I for that. But for now, just mounting 1. So there you go. In order to mount the pump in here, I'm going to use a 3-inch exhaust clamp. I think it's 3-inch or 2.5, or yeah, 3. There you go. And I'm going to drill 2 holes in the middle here, and those will go through the bed. Then I'll bolt this down to the bed, and then I'll drill the holes out for the U-bolt itself. That'll go through, and then I'll bolt it down from underneath. Now, since this pump has a thinner motor and then expands at the actual pump here, what I'll end up doing, I'll drill these holes, and I'll place this on here, and I'll use washers or spacers between the clamp and the bed, and I'll lift it up off the bed until this has enough clearance where it's not contacting the bed at all, just so it can float and not have any vibration or anything on the plastic pump itself. At that point, then I'll bolt this down, and then I'll have a pretty quick removable. Just set it in there, run the bolts down, take them off, pull it out. Pretty easy. And I like the little setup here. I got the bolts through on the tank, but not the nuts. I figured I'll just go underneath one time because I'm lazy. Got all the holes drilled, got the pump temporarily on here. I mean, it's solid, but there's a little support bar that runs underneath the bed, and so this side of the U-bolt, the threads are not exposed, so I only have one bolt on to hold it in place for now. I'll probably either weld an extension onto this thread or cut a slot in that support so I can access the thread to put the nut on. But for now, it'll hold down good enough to work. What's up next is to go ahead and get my hoses cut. I'll do the feed from here into the pump feed, and then my drain, I'll go ahead and do the drain too while I'm at it. So I had to do a little bit of thinking, and so I went ahead and made some progress off camera so I wouldn't be filming hours and hours and edit and get 10 seconds out of it. So basically what I've done, bolted these guys on, or this one's bolted on, this one the bolts are in but they're not tightened down quite yet. Just getting them clocked. This one's clocked right, got the feed pointed straight up, housing exhaust clocked. This one still is loose. Don't know if you could see that, but it's yeah, it's not quite tightened down yet. I'll clock it in a second, but basically I just had to make sure I can get these couplers. I had to cut away a good amount of this fender inner web section. These guys travel right along these inner fenders, come here, have the intercooler right about here, and then it will come up, sweep through here, go into our little T. I have a little bit more progress on this side. You can see the full first 90 and second 90 to get it right here. So that's where the intercooler will be roughly. Then I'll have a pipe shooting up to come right up here. And the blow off valve will be in this section also. Looking pretty ridiculous, pretty rowdy. So let's keep moving. Alright, so the camera died there for a little bit and I got slightly carried away. Did a ton of work. So finished up the exhaust side pretty much. Got the exhaust running all the way up. Turbos mounted. Bolts tightened. Gaskets in. Oil feeds and returns. You could probably not see the return. It's right here. Runs back down to the front cover. Got those plumbed in and everything. Got my little 4-inch bullhorn type deals there. V-band on. Got the O2 Bosch O2 sensor plugged in. Got the wastegates on. I don't have, for now, I'm not going to have anything on the wastegates. I'm probably just going to have them pointed up without a hood on. Because I'm tired of working on it. I just want to hear it run. Same on the other side. On this side, I went ahead, got the intercooler in, and then I twisted up this little bracket for it. It bolts into the body up here, comes down, and is bolted in at this. There's a mount on all 4 corners. For now, I just made this to support the weight of it, and then the silicone boots keep it in place. It's pretty sturdy. It's not going anywhere. But this little strap will support the weight, and then the boots hold it. So I got that coming off the turbo, around through the intercooler. Intercooler comes up here. Got the blow-off valve on, and I got it plumbed up too. So now it's got a vacuum reference, so it'll open when I let off the throttle. So this side is completely done except for the water lines to the intercooler. This side, I got the first 90 on the turbo, but I still need to plumb it down, place the intercooler, run back up, and plug it in over here. But again, on this side, everything's done. Bullhorn, wastegate, turbos clamped down, feed and return lines on, but I don't really trust that fitting. I might have to redo the feed lines. I got some cheaper fittings. I don't like them that much, so we'll see about those. I think we're ready to go here. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the computer. After that, if everything on the Holley screen looks good, I'll go ahead and press the start button